How long have these been in the fridge? We've had these a while.
Oh, these are from last week.
Okay.
Unofficially sponsored by Stella. I'll let the Panthers fan do the intro.
Right. Deshaun Watson to the Carolina Panthers. It makes sense, and we're going to discuss why. Deshaun Watson wants out. It's very obvious. I think the ball is in the Texans' park because he's going to opt out, I reckon, if he's not nice.
No, it tastes like shit. I've left the beers in the fridge for years.
Christ. The Texans, I reckon, will be forced to trade in Deshaun Watson because he will opt out if he's not given what he wants, and that is to leave. I mean, who really, at this point in time, wants to play for the Texans? No one. It's not an enjoyable franchise to go to. Deshaun Watson was your rebuild. Now he wants to go, so now you've got to rebuild your rebuild. It's a place in tatters at the moment. So I think it's right that Deshaun Watson tries to do what is best to his career and move. And I think to the Panthers, he's got the best shot at success. And let's discuss why.
So firstly, let's go over the Texans' demands. They've made it public they want 3 to 4 first round picks. They'll get them, probably. They'll need a quarterback, and they definitely need a defensive starter. In our packages today, we've mainly gone linebackers being included because that's their weakest place on the defence. Maybe it would be D-line if JJ Watt goes, but it was evident last year. You could run through them, you could pass through them. They'll need a linebacker. That's their demands, and we go through some packages. Yeah. So our topic of the video, the Panthers, we're going to go with their trade package first. So what do you think of that package, Ollie?
It satisfies the demands for the Texans. It's about the right price for Watson, I'd say. 2 starters and 3 first-round picks. I reckon this makes sense because out of all the teams that we've got trade packages for, the Panthers have the best. And although it's the same because they all have 2 starters and 3 first-rounders, out of all the 3 teams that are there, they've got the highest pick overall.
By far.
8th. Even with Watson next year, we can't guarantee that it will be a complete revelation. He'll definitely turn losses into wins, don't get me wrong. But an 8th overall, Panthers were looking at Trey Lance. And if you get that 8th overall pick, you can get Teddy B, and then you can also get a quarterback for the future in Trey Lance. Just put him behind Teddy B for a season. You know, so it makes sense. And also, Matt Rule has not shown what he can do to this Panthers team as of yet. 7 picks last year in the draft, 7 defensive players. He's an offensive coach. Give Joe Brady someone like this, and he will go back to those LSU days, I reckon, with Joe Burrow. There's a few reasons why I think the Panthers are best suited for them as well, because they have renegotiated offensive lineman Matt Paradis' contracts. They've saved $4.7 million in cap doing so. They've released K1 Shaw, Stephen Weatherly, Marco Pallardi. That's cleared an extra $20 million. They've got about $28 million to $30 million in cap space.
No, that's just cuts. In cap overall, they had reserve cap.
Oh yeah,
so
reserve. It's about 35 included. So
more cap than the other teams in this video.
Yeah, they've got the most cap. They've got the best they can offer to the Texans. They've got a bridge quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, and they've got a linebacker in Shaq Thompson. Admittedly, Shaq Thompson did look a bit lost without Kuechly this year, but if he's the best you're going to get out of the Panthers if you want a defensive starter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, you know, there's the problem of the no trade clause, but I think Watson would want to go. I mean, you've got an offense with a top 3 running back in McCaffrey, and you've got a pretty decent wide receiving group that might have been hindered by Teddy B last year. You've got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore,
Curtis
Samuel, exactly. So that's a good wide receiving group, and you can expect massive numbers next year if he goes.
And according to ESPN, the no trade clause that Watson has, he's okayed 3 teams in the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Panthers.
Yeah,
and we've done
that's
trade.
the rumour.
That's the rumor, and we've done trade packages for the Panthers and 2 other teams that aren't them.
Yeah.
So if you look at it like that way, if the rumor is correct, he should be aiming to go to the Panthers.
Yeah.
And the Panthers should definitely be trying to go for him as well. I'm looking forward to seeing if he can come to us.
Well, them teams that you mentioned, I think you can rule out the Dolphins because I don't think they'll give up one of their main defensive players.
You can't cash in on 2.
They won't give up on 2 already.
No.
And then the Jets, I mean, they've got picks, but
they'll be giving a lot away just to get him.
They'll be giving a lot away, their whole rebuild away.
Mm.
And they need volume. They need a lot of players. They can't just chuck in Watson. It'll be the same as last year with Watson on the Texans. So,
and does he want to go to a division where you're playing Josh Allen twice a year?
Yeah.
Whoever will be in at quarterback at New England, we don't know yet. So that could be a hit and miss for the next couple of years. And then Tua, if he does find the potential, that the ceiling he has got, if he reaches his ceiling, he could be. It'd be a competitive division. Does he want competition, or does he want a division that, for as long as Brady's around, it will be difficult to finish first? But as soon as that's done, you're looking at the best quarterback in the division, NFC South.
It's as soon as Brady tapers off, in a couple years, then you're definitely the best quarterback in the division. When in the AFC East, Josh Allen and Watson will both be up there, so you're not sure who's the best.
It makes sense for him to go to the Panthers, but there are some honourable mentions.
Yeah, so this is the 49ers trade package. As we can see, pretty similar format, 3 first-round picks. They do have to compensate for having a 12th overall. I know it's only 4 picks away, but the difference of a top 10 and outside the top 10 is quite drastic. So to compensate with that, they put in Fred Warner, who is a very, very good linebacker, very consistent and a good part of their defence, but not the main identity of their defence. So I think they would include him. And you could argue they have to make up for having Jimmy G in there. You could argue who's better out of Teddy B and Jimmy G. Both of them always involved in trade talks and lots of complaints about them. But I'd say it's the second strongest package. It is quite close to the Panthers. But what do you think?
Yeah, in terms of this one, the 2022 and the 2023 picks, first rounds, although they're first rounds, if they get Deshaun Watson, we could be looking at picks 30 to 32 easily.
Yeah.
So a 12th overall and Fred Warner, it's not too far off Shaq Thompson, the 8th overall, but the 22 and 23 first round picks, they might even ask for a 4th round pick here, a full first round pick.
They will be late.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Teddy Bridgewater technically when he's fit. I think he's 26 and 8 for the 49ers, or Kyle Shanahan is 26 and 8 when Jimmy Garoppolo starts. And I don't know the record, but a woeful record when anyone else is in at quarterback. So, in terms of quarterback, I'd rather Jimmy G over Teddy Bridgewater any day. But this is entirely dependent on the future that the 49ers have with Deshaun Watson, because they could easily ask for a 4th pick because they know the 49ers, once they get Nick Bosa back, George Kittle's back, they've got a lot of injury problems, but when they're all back next season, this could be a very, very high first round pick. So it's the second best, definitely, but it comes with the potential that it won't be as good long term depending on where the 49ers finish.
I agree. Right, on to the Chicago Bears. Their trade package is similar again, but it includes the 20th overall pick, a lot higher. The quality of that pick is a lot worse than the Panthers and the Niners. And then you're including Mitch Trubisky. We just won't talk about him. He's bad. And then Roquan Smith has to make up for the 20th overall, and Mitch Trubisky, very, very good player. He would stand out a lot in that Texans defence, which is notoriously bad. He will be the diamond in the rough, which is a fair package, but I think it's fair to say it's the worst one.
This one, I feel as if they have to ask for a full first-round pick.
Yeah.
Because you could ask any NFL franchise in the league and say, do you want Mitch Trubisky as your starter? I don't even think the Texans, who are in a dire situation as it is, would even be excited for Mitch Trubisky. He had a resurgence when Nick Foles he came off injured.
Yeah.
And then he played for the rest of the season. He played better than he has in the past, but that's too little too late for me. In terms of the 20th overall pick, will they be a playoff team next year? They're ticking on the edge, so you could be looking at another 20th or around that. So third first round pick could easily be another 20 or so. This one, I think they have to ask for a full first round pick. Do I think it's as good as the Panthers one? No, definitely not, because the quality of quarterback, the positions of the trades, they're not anywhere as close to the Panthers. And also, does Deshaun Watson really want to go to a team where both the head coach and the general manager are both on the hot seat?
Mm-hmm.
Matt Nagy is one season away from, although he did get the playoffs, fair play to him, but you've got to do more. You've got a Super Bowl winning defense if everyone is fit, and the offense is what's letting you down. So, do you really want to sacrifice the talent you've got on defense by the lack of offense you have? So and Deshaun Watson, don't forget, wanted to trade from the Texans because he wasn't getting a say behind the scenes. If he does go to the Chicago, the GM gets sacked. Does he get a say in that, or will it be the hierarchy again? Will it be the whole situation all over again? It's very fragile, this situation as well. So I don't think a guy like Deshaun Watson should go to the Bears because there's too much uncertainty.
Yep. Right, so we're assuming we'll move this. We're assuming that the Panthers get Watson. This is just to see home and away opponents. We're going to predict their record. So take it away. You go home opponents.
Home opponent, the Buccaneers is easy. They're going to finish first in the NFC South. No need to discuss it. The Saints, even with Drew Brees back in our quarterback, if he does come back, their cap situation is screaming out that they're going to release too much talent and they won't be able to replace them in the draft. So I think the Saints, they could finish second, and they probably should in fairness, but if they finish third and we finish second, I really wouldn't be surprised. So I'm going to go for a home win. Falcons, we hardly ever did a double over them, so I'll give ourselves a win at home.
Yeah,
split down the middle. Washington, uncertainty at quarterback again, so I'll go for a win. Eagles,
tire fire.
Eagles, they're a mess at an organisation at the moment. Win. Jets,
too soon for the Jets.
Yeah, too soon. I like Robert Saleh as a head coach, but he's got a couple of years in him before he turns this franchise around. Patriots, if they have a similar situation as this season where they don't have a quarterback, I think they've got the 15th pick overall. They could easily get Mac Jones, but will he hit the ground running? That's quite a long way you have to go to get a quarterback, and by then all the talent's already gone. It depends if people opt back in for the next season as well, defensively wise. So it could easily be an L, but we've been a bit ambitious, and hopefully Deshaun Watson turns it around with a win.
Easy dub.
Yeah. Difference of opinion. And then the Vikings, they'll bounce back easily. They'll easily bounce back from last season.
Yeah, if they get their defensive stars back, they'll be alright.
So the Vikings will be second by,
So pretty good home record, 6-2.
Yeah,
away.
Respectable.
Your opponents are a bit trickier, to be fair. So we've gone L to the Bucks. It's no shame in that.
No.
Then we think we're going to split with the Saints and the Falcons, which is fair. It's very hard to do a double over two good teams, decent teams. Cowboys, we've gone for a W, a bit ambitious, but you don't really know what's going to happen with their defense. It probably will be bad again. And then if you've got Watson and that wide receiving group, could absolutely smash that secondary up. Then the Giants, a lot of uncertainty with that team again. You don't know if Danny Dimes is going to elevate his quarterback play. But I think Panthers are just better roster right now. The Bills, my Bills, deal with this team pretty easily.
It's no shame losing to the Bills.
At our stadium, and if it's in the cold in December, then yeah, we take this one. The Dolphins, they're trash. I don't care what anyone says. Their offense is awful, and your one weakness is defense, and they won't be able to take advantage of it. So you'll be able to just pass all over.
Even with their draft, you've got them predicting taking O-line and wide receiver.
Yeah, two unless they're
unless Tua finds his feet.
Yeah, unless they come in and they have some unreal connection with Tua.
It's a big if.
Yeah, it's a big if. You take the dub. Cardinals, I mean, this one is a 50-50 game. It'll be a great game.
I think we beat him away last season. Or we beat him at home at least.
Yeah.
Last season.
Yeah, I think we did beat him.
We beat him at home, yeah.
It'll be a good game.
It'll be a shootout. Yeah, definitely.
Quite similar teams. And yeah, so overall, we think 10-6. So that's good enough.
That should be enough for second. I don't think the Saints will be getting that with their cap situation. But
yeah.
Don't forget, this is probably as ambitious as it could get with Deshaun Watson at the helm, because he is that good of a quarterback. He can turn anyone around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Let us know what you think, because we think Deshaun Watson to the Panthers makes sense. We've stated why it makes the most sense in terms of
cap, trade package, the offense that he's going to.
Benefits the Texans a lot more than the other two trade packages we've got. I reckon he'll get a say behind the scenes as compared to what he did with the Texans, in terms of, well, the GM won't be fired because we literally just hired the Texans, the Seahawks. I don't know what position he was, but we hired from the Seahawks, and he's a very bit like our owner. If you want this, we'll get it. He's very aggressive. So I think he'll get along well with a very young head coach as well. They can both grow together. They can both get along with each other well. So I think it makes sense for the Panthers to go out and get him, and the Texans to trade him to the Panthers. But let us know what you think.
Yep. As per usual, any support appreciated. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
In a bit.